I have never shared this outside of my courses before. Want to know what it is? You know what it's like when you just feel a little bit off, you feel not quite right, a little bit out of sorts, and you just don't feel like yourself? Sometimes this happens because we've been hanging out with groups of people, we might have been doing some one-on-one work, we've kind of picked up some stuff that maybe isn't ours. Or sometimes it could just be we're a bit under-resourced, a bit sleep-deprived, just, not quite right. Would you like to be able to just really quickly and quite powerfully to come back to that sense of like, oh, yeah, like this is me and this feels like me, and find that connection with yourself quite quickly again? This process is called a self-called home. And I first designed this process for my Masterprac group because at Masterprac, we're really experimenting and exploring and expanding the edges of identity and who you think you are and who you think you're not. And when we're really like playing in that identity space, it can be really useful to have a nice, strong resource that you can come back to, a nice, strong sense of self that feels like home that you can come back to anytime you need it. It helps people to feel safe to kind of explore and expand and experiment with those edges. And I've been using it for myself and with clients ever since. And it's dead simple. Okay, so here's how it goes. The first thing is, what are some places that when you're in those kind of places, when you're in those kind of environments, you just feel like you. You feel like you when you're just the youiest you that you ever could be. And it kind of feels like home to you. And I don't mean home in the sense of like the actual home that you live in, although it might. But there's that familiarity and that connection to like, yeah, these are my kind of places. These are the kind of spaces that feel good for me, where I feel like me. And just allow yourself to connect in with what that feels like when you're in these kind of spaces. What are some of the places that you find yourself in where you just feel like you? And notice what it feels like when you feel like you. Who are some people that when you're with those people, you just feel like you? And these feel like your kind of people. Who are some people that when you're with these people, you just feel like you? And notice what it feels like when you feel like you. And what are some activities that when you do those kind of activities, you also just feel like you? What are some of the things that you do? It might be hobbies, it might be sports, it could be all kinds of things. But when you're doing those activities, you just feel like you. And notice what it feels like when you feel like you. What are some objects, things that you have? You might have around you. You might keep somewhere. You might wear them. What are some things or some objects that when you're using those things, or when you have those things around you, when you're wearing those things, you also feel like you? For me, I've got this kind of like jacket cardigan, and anytime I put it on, I'm like, oh yeah, this is me. I really feel like me when I'm in this, when I'm wearing this. And just notice what that's like. When you've got these things, when you've got these objects around, that when you've got them, you just feel like you. And notice what that feels like when you feel like you. And what about like topics that you like to explore or learn or talk about or interested in? What are some of those things that when you're exploring those things, or you're discussing those things, when you're reading about those things, or you're learning about those things, that you just feel like you? You're like, yeah, this is my kind of thing. And notice what that feels like when you feel like you. And what should start to happen, the more you connect with these things, the more you connect with the feeling of what it feels like to feel like you. And you can always find your way back to that feeling of what it feels like when you feel like you through these different channels. So anytime you're feeling a little bit off, not quite right, not feeling yourself, and you want to come back to that sense of self that feels like home, these are some really quick, easy pathways to help you come home to that sense of self that just feels like you. Let me know how you go. Bye.